Good afternoon, property entrepreneurs. Happy Monday, trust you're well and everything's all good. Welcome to those tuning in for us live on the Property Entrepreneurs Facebook community, and equally those listening on the brand new official Property Entrepreneur podcast. We're going to do this podcast video recording. We're going to look at something I thought was really interesting for you. So you would have seen on my social media. How you doing, Mark? How you doing, James? Shania, nice to see you all. How you doing, Mark? So we had our strategy day this weekend, and every year we get together. Like those of you that follow the Property Entrepreneur methodology will understand how this all works. We run all of our companies in the same way, and this Saturday we had our strategy day. So basically, every single one of our senior team stand up and present for their department, for their business, and present how we're going to achieve and execute against this year's headline strategy and this year's supporting objectives. So every year during the autumn, October, November, December, on Property Entrepreneur, all of our businesses, how you doing, Trevor? How you doing, Fry? How you doing, Andy, Chris? Every year during October, November, December, we do our strategy. We define our headline strategy, which is the direction of travel. Is it growth? Is it service? Is it profit? And we define our supporting objectives. So underneath that, what are the three core focuses for each company, each department and each team in the year ahead? Last year, every single one of our companies was level up. So how do we expand? How do we grow? How do we step up every single company within the PPN UK group? And within that, we leveled up, we moved head offices, we acquired 4 other companies, we added additional programs to our Property Entrepreneur training program. We went from 12 property entrepreneurs, clients, up to now 100 across 3 programs at the Belfry in Birmingham. Last year, all of our companies' headline strategy was level up. This year it's slightly different because all of the companies have achieved a huge amount of growth. Now we need to look at, well, what's the plan for this year? Like, all things considered, where do we go this year? And some of the companies are still going for growth. Others are focusing on things like profit and service. Multilet UK, which is our portfolio management company, it's now the UK's largest network of HMO specialist portfolio management companies. We have offices ranging from down as far south as Bedford, up as far north as Manchester. That company's grown really, really aggressively. And what you'll find as you go through the different levels with your businesses is when you're quite small and you're a startup, one of the reasons they can grow really aggressively and really quickly is because the startup space has a lot of benefits where they can have a competitive edge over the larger companies. Things like turnaround times, communication levels, response times, flexibility, service, all of these things where a more agile, leaner, smaller company might be able to compete against a bigger company. And the bigger company then benefits from things like economies of scale, levels of investment capital, the benefits that come of having more levels of management, team, systems, all the things you'd expect from more of a scale up than a startup. When the business is small, one of the benefits you have is high levels of service. And this is normally because the founder or the starter is so close to the coalface that they and the band of brothers, that first small team, can throw so much energy at the business and the service that they can go above and beyond. And because of that, they generate fantastic service. Because of that, they generate a fantastic reputation. And because of that, the referral-based marketing strategy is significantly significant. It's quite sizable compared to that of perhaps a scale-up or a semi or an actual corporate. As you scale the company up, that being that sort of accessible, being that using energy rather than systems and efficiencies to deliver service, that you start to lose a lot of that startup magic as you go through the scale-up process. And Multilet UK, over the last 3 or 4 years, has gone from one office with 200 units or 2 offices with 350 units up to 7 offices, over 1,000 tenants. It's scaled really aggressively. There's lots of benefits that come with that. We've got some of the best systems in the industry. Operationally, we've got that economies of scale. We've got the focus of workload where with a startup, you've got someone in the business who's doing property management, they're doing maintenance, they're doing customer service, they're doing rent collection. we now have one dedicated credit controller, one dedicated new lets, one dedicated bookkeeping, one dedicated property manager per office. You get those economies of scale. But what you lose through that growth is the magic that we had as a small startup, real magical service, going above and beyond, and we want to bring it back. So how do you bring back service levels, the startup magic, into a scale up or a larger company? How do we replicate that? Well, the first thing is we need to track it. Like anything that you manage in business will improve, and there's ways to improve it. This is where all the strategy comes from. But the headline strategy this year for Multi-Let UK, which includes the Multi-Let UK offices, also the other brands and agencies underneath that umbrella, is 5-star service. So you go returning back to 5-star service, have every client as a raving fan, everything that we do being remarkable, and the core focus for this year isn't growth, isn't diversification, isn't expansion, it's service. It's bringing back that 5-star service. The first port of call with this is how do you actually calibrate your current level, your progress, your performance, and essentially your targets. And this is where we start to introduce KPIs, we start to introduce dashboards, and we start to introduce scorecards. Because with a large company, you want to drive it by the dashboard, not the pedals, because it's too big for you to drive it emotionally. You'll need to have more of a statistical viewpoint. So the model that we've now decided, that was announced and presented at this year's strategy day on Saturday, just gone, for PPN UK, is we're going to use a model that we used to use called Net Promoter Scoring. So Net Promoter Scoring is a way to articulate how well your business is performing from a customer service standing. I've printed out a few of the slides which our team shared. So here's the first one. So you have 3 different types of people in your business. And for those of you listening to this on the podcast, not watching it in the Property Entrepreneurs Facebook community, there's 3 different types of customer in your business. You've got the detractors, who don't think very highly of you, are more likely to speak unfavourably than favourably of you, and going to have a negative impact in your business. You then have your passives, who are going to sit on the fence. They don't think you're fantastic, they don't think you're bad, they're unlikely to have any impact in your referral marketing, your reputation, and the communications out in the market. And then you've got your promoters. The promoters are people who think you're great, they tell a friend, they'll recommend you, they'll rant and rave about you, and they'll add a lot of value to your marketing strategy. Your marketing strategy, your reputation, your service levels. So these are the 3 different types of people we have. And what you can do is you can actually find out where a client in your business, so we have well over 1,000 clients, you can ask them a simple question to find out where they are on this scale. And obviously strategically, so one of the things is you want to keep this as simple as possible. Like you could go into, here's an advanced survey, 25 questions, psychometric testing. You could go into a million different ways as to how to figure out whether your service levels are good. This is keeping it simple. We're going to use this for over 1,000 clients, and we're going to ask them every single month a simple question to ascertain where they fall in this category. There's only one question that we ask in order to understand where our clients are. We ask every single client this one question every month, and it will give us a rating on the Net Promoter Scoring. So this is the question that we ask, and we'll ask this to every single one of our clients. It's the only quantitative regular metric that we'll use to track where we are on our quest for 5-star service. Excuse me. And the question is, how likely would you be to refer us to a friend or family, or a friend or a colleague? How likely out of 10 would you be to refer us to a friend or a colleague? If someone rates 9 or 10, they're a promoter, they're a supporter of the business. 8 and 7 is passive, 1 to 6 is negative. And obviously the aim of the game here is to move the needle into the green and then keep it in the green. So what we'll be doing this month is we'll be texting over, so we've tested this on a couple of our companies already, the smaller ones, and it's gone really, really well. Next month, or this month rather, February, we'll be texting every single one of our 1,000 plus clients in the Multi-Let UK group and asking them, out of 10, how likely would they be to recommend us to a friend or a family? The way that you calibrate your NPS score is out of 100. So it can either be minus 100 or it can be plus 100. The spectrum goes from minus 100 negative to plus 100 positive. And obviously we want to get as high into that plus 100 as we can. That's the green. The way that you calculate your Net Promoter Score is you take the amount of promoters in your business, so what percentage of your clients are actually promoting your business. You then minus off the percentage of detractors in the business. So this isn't an average score, it's a subtraction. It's your promoters minus your detractors, and that will give you your NPS score. And this will be out of somewhere between minus 100 and plus 100. Every month we obviously want to move this needle, so we want to look at, I'll share with you in future videos and future podcasts how we actually do this. The objective is to move that needle every month, and every single team member has an NPS score. Every single part of the business has an NPS score. At every opportunity, at the end of the sales process, the end of the new lets process, monthly to all clients, at the end of every property management project, everybody gets asked, how likely would you be, based on the service you've just experienced, to recommend us to a friend or family or a friend or colleague? And this is the spectrum, this is the score. So 0 to minus 100 is obviously negative. That's not where you want to be. The business is heading nowhere north. You want to be out of the red, into the yellow as immediately as possible. As soon as you break through the 0, the neutral position, we're into a positive Net Promoter Score. And if you get a score on a monthly basis of plus 50, so your supporters minus your detractors equals between 0 and 50, that means you're a good business. You're doing good things, your clients are happy, they're satisfied, you're doing a good job, and things are going to bode pretty well for you in the main. From there, the next category is plus 50 to plus 70, and that is excellent. If you can operate your business in plus 50 to plus 70, you're in the excellent category. You're starting to get a competitive advantage over your clients. You're starting to get into the minority of companies in the mass market, especially if you're a scale up over a startup. The excellent space between 50 and 70 is aspirational for most businesses. And then 70 to 100 is world class. This is top of your game, award winning, market leading, flawless service, invested in service as a priority. 70 to 100 is world class. So this is what we're going to be using for the next 12 months. Our new year starts from the 1st of April. And between now and the end of March, we're putting in all the new score sheets, the scoreboards, the mechanisms to rate the service. We're then putting in qualitative surveys, which I'll share with you on future podcasts, to explain, to work with our team and find out when things go wrong, why they go wrong. When people are passives or detractors, how do we turn that around? And there's a number of qualitative elements that we've built into our CIP, our Continuous Improvement Programme, and our SLA, Service Level Agreement. And the aspiration is obviously to get into that excellent and world-class category and stay there consistently. We tested this for the last 2 months, or the last month specifically, on Property Entrepreneur. Many of you will be aware of Property Entrepreneur. That's our business and property training program. We train landlords and investors how to become proper property entrepreneurs, build businesses with systems, a company that can run without you, not only survive without you, but actually thrive and scale. How do you start a business? How do you systemize it? How do you scale it? And then if you want to, how do you actually sell it? And what we did was we asked our clients. So last week, you would have seen this on my Facebook profile. If you're not already following me on Facebook, follow us on Property Entrepreneur channel YouTube. Follow me on Daniel Hill on Facebook, or Daniel Hill Property Entrepreneur personal profile page, or Property Entrepreneur on Instagram, and you'll see all of this coming through in real time. You'll see every month what we actually train our delegates on, for those of you that didn't make it on the program this year. And what we did last week was we asked, after Fridays, we had a workshop on Wednesday, which is our first year's, Thursday is our private board, and then Friday is our advanced program. We asked every single one of our property entrepreneurs, our 100 property entrepreneurs, to rate us. And we said, based on the experience you've had at this workshop, so we can rate our workshops each month, see what they think of property entrepreneurs, see how effective it is, see what value for money they're getting, see if they're actually getting good training and support. And obviously we want to get into that excellent and world-class category and stay there as consistently as possible. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we text all of our clients and said, based on today's workshop, how likely would you be to recommend us to a friend or a colleague? And really pleased with the results. The results came in over the weekend. And for Property Entrepreneur Programme, our average rating was 9.57, which gave us a NPS score of 81, which puts us in the world-class category, which is just phenomenal. Bear in mind, people on these programs pay between £10,000 and £20,000 to attend. You know, it's a big ticket item. People have got high expectations when you're paying that price point. The Property Entrepreneur Programme, our first year, got an average score of 9.57 with a net promoter score of 81, putting us in the world-class category. The Board, which is our top-rate programme, some people have been on this for 5 years. It's the most expensive programme we do. It's the most intimate programme we do. We work very closely with up to 12 businesses a year. I work with them one-on-one to actually scale them, systemise them, position them in the market. And on average, they rate us 9.92 out of 10, which is an NPS rating of 86, which again puts us in the world-class category for private one-to-one business and property mentorship. And then finally, the Advanced Programme. These are property entrepreneurs who've been on the programme more than 1 year, some of them up to 5 or 6 years, been on the programme for more than 1 year, and now they understand how to build the businesses, taking it to the next level. And for a full house, really pleased with an average score of 9.69 on Friday. NPS score 94, which again puts us in that world-class category. So every single one of our programs last week, using the NPS score, was in the world-class category, which for a £10,000 to £20,000 ticket, £10,000 to £20,000 price point over 100 clients, that is a fantastic position to be in. Really encouraging start for Property Entrepreneur. All of that's going live in the other businesses over the next couple of months. And by the end of this year, the 31st of March, all of this will be set up, ready to take forward into the year ahead. So think about your business. Like, what areas of your business could you start rating your client satisfaction? Because at the end of the day, your clients are going to be your best. Your clients are going to be your best referral-based marketing asset. Delivering good service is going to give you the greatest chance, as long as the market conditions are fine, of sustainability in your company. And if you can get people into that promoter space where they're actively talking about you, they're promoting you, they're telling your friends how good they are, then you'll end up with a genuine market leading business, sustainable business, and have an oversubscribed company where clients are wanting to work with you and lining up, rather than you having to bang the drum. And obviously, Property Entrepreneur has been going for 6 years now, and every year it's been oversubscribed. The last 3 years, we've added an extra program just to keep capacity up. And using the NPS score, it's potentially not a coincidence that across all 3 programs we've got world class last month. So hopefully, that's hugely encouraging for us that we're heading in the right direction. And we spend a lot of time investing in building these out, constantly up-to-date information, brand new market insight, guest speakers, experts in their field, market leaders in the industry. We do work very hard to get the program to where it needs to be, and scores like that is obviously very, very encouraging. So it's all good. The bar's set now. It's time to maintain that, and then moving into the months ahead, we're moving that over to the other companies to see whereabouts we need to improve and how well we can perform in them. So think about NPS, think about Net Promoter Score, and we send ours out on text message using a text messaging survey software, collates it all automatically, so we don't have to worry about the mechanics of it. I wish you all the best of luck. Put that into your business, see how you're getting on, and looking after your clients, driving it by service is an absolute fundamental to long-term success in business. So best of luck with that. Hope you got value from it. If you're watching this on the Facebook community, watch out for the brand new podcast, the official Property Entrepreneur podcast, which launches this month. Those of you listening to the podcast live, I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great week, ladies and gents. I'll catch you all again very, very soon. Cheers.